Yes, guys, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for me. So, Dave Allen versus Filip Hrgovic, the lovable loser versus the Gigachad. Let's talk about it. So, man, we have a good fight this weekend. Good fight that's finally not on freaking pay-per-view, right? I don't have to pay $80 to watch this fight. I hope so. I'll double check that, but I'm praying that I'm right. But I believe this fight is not on pay-per-view, and it shouldn't be on pay-per-view. Because in reality, it's a fight between a top 10 contender and a journeyman, right? Dave Allen has a bit of a profile, especially in the UK. Nobody here in America knows who he is. But again, like I said, who cares what Americans think when it comes to boxing? You know, at the end of the day, I say that as an American, obviously, but Americans are the least informed boxing fans in the world. They're the most myopic. They're the most insular, so who cares what American fans think? But Dave Allen has a big following in the UK, right? He's the common man. He's the everyday man. He's the guy with the beer belly that goes and tries against the stud athletes. And somehow he's been able to milk this little act and carve out a nice little living for himself. It really goes to show you, I don't like to get too deep and philosophical on this channel. It's just a boxing channel, but it really goes to show you how much personality plays a role in people's success. It's kind of annoying. In a sense, as somebody that's not an extrovert, as someone that, isn't the gregarious backslapper who just knows how to charm people. It's kind of annoying to see someone like Dave Allen get all the success where he's failing upwards, right? He's failed upwards his entire career. His entire career has been him failing upward. He loses and he says, "Oh, mate, I just didn't try. I was training, but I kind of wasn't training that much. And I was just drinking beers and eating cakes and eating shepherd's pie and, whatever, bro. Fish and chips, the stuff you guys eat out there in the UK and Ireland." And he basically has this shtick where he lowers expectations for himself and self-deprecates in order to remove pressure. And to me, that I'm not a fan of that. Like, you should come into a boxing match with full confidence and you should say, "Hey, I tried, I did everything I could, I left no stone unturned, I dotted every I, I crossed every T, and I'm prepared. I didn't show up here to lose. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't confident that I was gonna win." And you never hear that from a Dave Allen, right? It's always like, "Oh, shucks, mate, I trained, but I had things going on in my personal life." And he's just a guy who always has a million excuses every time he loses. But for whatever reason, people take a liking to him, because he's just got this personality that regular people can identify with. But do you want to empathize with a guy like Dave Allen, or do you want to admire people who have overcome adversity, who've overcome their own personal flaws? Like, we all have personal flaws. We all have shortcomings as people, things that we need to work on. Some people deal with anxiety and they have all the tools when they're in a room by themselves, but when they get amongst other people, they get nervous and forget how to do everything. You have other people who have poor work ethics. You have other people who are abrasive. Whatever your shortcoming is, we all have them. But I don't know if it's the best thing to acknowledge them all the time and almost celebrate them. And that's what Dave Allen does. And it's kind of weird. And it's in a sense, like, you're a professional athlete and I'm someone who's not a ultra competitive person in the sense that I don't look to one up the guy next to me. I'm not competing with my friends and my family. I don't have to be the guy that is better than everyone else, that is superior to everyone. I don't have to feel that way. But I do want to do my absolute best. And I want to put my best foot forward. And I actually want to try. You know, and sometimes Dave Allen almost celebrates not trying. And the act gets old. It's like, oh, I didn't try. Oh, I lost because I didn't try. It's like, okay, dude, you've been saying that for like the last 10 years. When are you actually going to step up to the plate and win a big one, right? People like you. He is a likable guy. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not fond of him. When I watch his interviews, he does seem like the guy you just want to go to the bar, the pub with, and you know, have a beer or whatever and just hang out with and talk boxing. Right? He's very knowledgeable. He's got a great career in commentary awaiting him once he retires. And maybe he knows that in the back of his mind, like, I'm never going to be the best. So I'll just rack up all these paydays and then retire and go into commentary. Maybe that's his plan. But the act is getting old. The act is getting old. I don't know how many times he can keep returning to the well. So for me, it's just, I don't like the avoidance of pressure when you're a professional fighter. Fighting is all about pressure, right? As they say, pressure either bursts pipes, but it can also create diamonds, even though diamonds are worthless, right? Look at the diamond markets right now. Look at the beers. Look at trends amongst younger consumers. It's all manipulation, right? The diamond market, it's all controlled by conglomerates, and they control supply artificially, almost like OPEC, to overinflate the price of these worthless stones that people lose their lives over, which is crazy, you know. And now you have all these young people like, yo, I can just rock cubic zirconia earrings and nobody can tell the difference. So that point aside, to me, Dave Allen just seems to want to avoid the pressure. And he's only 34, right? That's young for a heavyweight. That's what you hear all the experts say. He's only 34. So presumably he still has at least 3-4 years left of quality boxing if he takes care of himself, which he hasn't his entire career. He still has a lot of boxing left in him. But to me, him saying, oh, Hrgovic is my world championship. Well, you said that about Makhmudov. You know what I mean? You said that about a lot of people. This is my world championship. Oh, I just want to win the British title. If I win the British title, that's enough for me. It's just a guy who has it all, but clearly just lacks the confidence. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy to be confident, right? You have Hrgovic, who he's big, he's tall, he's got the Gigachad jawline, he's got the beard, and he's really cocky, right? Borderline arrogant. One would argue that Hrgovic's hubris lost him the fight against Dubois. I thought he was going to blast Dubois out of there, and he ended up getting stopped himself because he underestimated Dubois based off of one spar, which was ignorant and foolish of him, and he paid the price for it. But that's his natural demeanor, right? He's just a naturally confident man. So that juxtaposition is very clear. I don't think it's just they're trying to make it a Dave versus Goliath, even though Dave Allen is not a small man. He's like 6'3", 6'4", 240 pounds. He's not a small man. But I do think they're David and Goliath in terms of confidence, in terms of how they perceive themselves. One guy maybe overestimates himself. The other guy dramatically underestimates himself because he's afraid of high expectations, because there's pressure that comes with that. And I mean, again, a lot of us struggle with that. So I'm not trying to judge Dave Allen and act like I got all the answers. I'm just comparing him to his peers. So for me, as far as the fight goes, I'm picking Filip Hrgovic to win by unanimous decision. Hrgovic has respectable power. You know, I've heard some other channels say that Hrgovic can't punch. I don't think that's the case. I think he punches hard enough. Does he have the one-hitter quitter? No. Most men don't. That's just the reality. Most men do not have one-punch KO power. We all think we do. We all like to say that, right? We get a confrontation with another male. We'd be like, bro, I'll break your jaw. You know, in the UK, mate, I'll knock your spark out, you wanker. You know, all you UK guys say that. But as far as having a one-hitter quitter, most of us don't have that. Hrgovic doesn't possess that, but he has decent boxing ability. I don't think his boxing skills are just out of this world. He doesn't blow my mind with anything he does in the ring. I think he's a big, strong guy, a tough guy with a fantastic chin, right? He has the best chin in boxing. I might have said Fabio Worley in previous videos because I was kind of gassed and living in the moment of the Dubois fight, but I don't know, man. To me, Hrgovic has the best chin in boxing. That's his best attribute. He can take a punch. And I don't think Allen has the power or the speed to be able to trouble Hrgovic. So I expect Hrgovic to win by unanimous decision. I think Allen will just plod forward with this little goofy high guard and do a little bit of this. And right, the only time he really looked like he had some skills was when he fought Johnny Fisher, right? A low-level fighter, a gym fighter, an influencer fighter. So I expect Allen to lose, just plodding forward. Hrgovic will just move around, touch him with the jab, come with that chopping right hand he likes to throw, spring in a few left hooks, and that's that. I don't expect this fight to be that entertaining. I'll watch it. You know, it's gonna be Saturday. I got a long Sunday, you know. So for me, I'll definitely be unwinding watching that fight tomorrow afternoon. But I expect Hrgovic to win. And after that, for me, I think it's clear that he's going to be the step-up fight that we all want for Moses Itauma. Assuming Hrgovic wins, I'll go into more detail on my thoughts about a potential fight with him and Itauma. But I think it's very clear that Hrgovic is being lined up for a fight against Itauma, so Itauma can have that credible win, right? Itauma doesn't have that top 10 marquee name on his resume, right? Jermaine Franklin has been vastly overrated, right? When you think about his two wins, or not two wins, his two losses that have been perceived as wins, right? Let's not get it twisted. He lost both of those fights. Even the Dillian fight, it was close, but I thought Dillian did edge that fight. People just were picking Franklin and saying Franklin won because he exceeded expectations, but he fought a washed Dillian White. Dillian White was washed when he fought Tyson Fury, right? He'd already been starched by AJ, starched by Povetkin, and then Fury just finished him off, right? So by the time Jermaine Franklin got to him, he was already a shell of himself. It's not the same guy. Like when you think about how aggressive and ferocious a prime Dillian White was, right? From like 2015 to 2020, right? Which in my opinion was Dillian White's prime. He was ferocious. He was tough. He was game. Yeah, he would get hurt, right? He got hurt by Rivas. He got hurt by Parker, but he was always game. He was always willing to have a scrap. When you saw him fight Jermaine Franklin, that wasn't a guy willing to have a scrap. That was a guy who wanted to box. And it showed, right? But Franklin couldn't beat that guy. He couldn't beat an AJ who has his own mental fragilities and was in the ring not trying to be dangerous. Again, an AJ who was looking to box. I think prime AJ and prime Dillian absolutely iced Jermaine Franklin. That's my opinion. You have yours, but that's my opinion. So I don't know. We still don't know about Moses. The eye test tells me yes. I'm picking Moses to beat Dubois if they fight. I'm picking Moses to beat Hrgovic if they fight. But I'll admit it's purely off the eye test. I got to see him in there with an actual killer. Hrgovic is a killer, right? He's top 10 for sure. He's been in some wars. He's fought some good guys. He's fought Zhang. He's fought Adelaide. He's fought Joe Joyce, right? That's not top tier. But Hrgovic is beating all of the B tier dudes. And the one A tier guy he lost to, it was a competitive fight while it lasted. I think the fight went like 9 rounds. And Hrgovic was stopped on his feet, right? AJ got brained, right? He got flatlined. And Hrgovic was stopped on his feet. So he's somewhere like 6 or 7 for me. 6 to 8. I'll say that's where Hrgovic is. So for Talma to take out a guy like that, to me, would speak volumes. So I'm very interested in seeing that fight. So assuming Hrgovic wins, we'll get the Talma fight next. If Dave Allen somehow pulls off the upset, chapeau. My hair's looking crazy. I need a haircut. That's why I'm wearing this goofy hat in May, because it's my house and my rules. But chapeau, imaginary chapeau. There you go. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is Hrgovic going to cruise to victory, or will Dave Allen pull off a monumental upset? Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'm out.